say that from the world's perspective, darkness is the base. This is the way it's perceived, because if you do nothing, this is what's there. Darkness is what's there. But the real base is, we say, is the presence of the Eibishter. But yet, we have to do things to bring in that presence, so to speak. So, in other words, we have to, like you said, we have to, do various things.
The doing is to counter our perception of the fundamentality of darkness.
Mm.
You don't have to do anything, for example, to live, to have the neshama alive, because the neshama is mechatila bottle to the goof defies this truth. So therefore, we have to do things to subjugate the goof that it would also be reflecting of the same truth. Take a look in the worldly view. In the world, life, the neshama element, is totally ignored. What do I need life for? To sustain a body. The whole focus is on the body. What do I live for? For a shot of whiskey. That's already a madrege. And it makes perfect good sense. I don't mean it in an absolute sense. I mean in how people think of it.
Because the darkness is so pervasive.
That's right, preeminent. And when you talk about nefesh, you're almost mocked. Where are you going? Come on, be real. All right, so we are 4 lines from the top of Samach Aleph. So after having explained the principle of birur hachoshech, and which is a phenomenal transformation and it's accomplished exclusively by hiskafia. And the reason that it's accomplished exclusively by hiskafia is that in the process of hiskafia, this is where atzmus is recognized, and the koach to be koach is from atzmi. You cannot be koach from inside it by by refining it and by explaining, good from bad. Because it's something which is on a fundamental level, koach, not out of ignorance, but out of conviction. Therefore, what can counter it? Only a true presence that can counter the presence of the koach, and that's atzmi, as we discussed already in the last couple of days.
What's this? The ignorance conviction thing? What's the point?
I'm saying that the acceptance of darkness is not due to ignorance. It's a conviction. It's actually a belief that this is the truth, that this is the way it is.
Why are you bringing that up? Like what's the point?
That in order to counter it, you cannot deal with it rationally. It has to be by bringing the power of the essence, which is brought in through hiskafia.
Funny, the first period of the Baal Tshuva, so you spend abnormal amounts of time convincing your friends, and if you know where and you have good arguments, and there's no answers to the arguments, and they even could say, yeah, I agree, and I was shocked. How come no one's becoming fluent? And now I realize that it's not from ignorance.
Yeah, and he examines what you said and examines what his thoughts are. And he says, what you say is nice, but it's a concept. This is reality. You can't counter reality with concepts.
This we said in the beginning of the talking with the avodah of the nefesh of Bahamas and working on it so that it should recognize the or and the chayas. This we said was on the level of hiskafia. This was like in that kind of a vein. How does that?
There is not hiskafia. Hiskafia, this is we haven't reached it. When the nefesh of Bahamas, the highest that it comes to is tzorich lirtzois, is not hiskafia.
Mm-hmm.
He has identified a fine quality within himself, but he's not there.
The seichel identification is not necessarily kfiyah, but then the living up to that's kfiyah.
Yeah. Yeah. Right in the beginning of this whole discussion, we brought the principle of Shevi Pil Tzaddik L'kom. Why Yipol? He has reached this point. He understands it. So why doesn't he just get submerged in it? It doesn't work.
I'm not following the reference.
Why?
I'm not following this reference. What about what you just said? We brought about the tzaddik. What?
We just were discussing that it has to be that the way to step over is not the step over is not in a peaceful way. It's not through conviction. The step over is a forcing over. It's hiskafia.
Yeah, so I got that about our case here, but what has to do with the tzaddik? I don't get.
But the tzaddik also that they are Veda. Shever Yipil tzaddik will come. Why does he have to fall in order to get over to the next level?
Are you pointing out to that what he is falling on it? It's categorically different of whereas he holding by.
I don't know what you're saying.
We were
Why
saying
does he have to fall? Right in the beginning of this whole discussion, we pointed out. Why does the tzaddik have to fall?
So we were saying that he has to fall because he has to rid himself of his
Why?
definitions, so
Why?
to say.
Why? Why can't he reach there from that position?
Because the reality is undefined. The true reality is undefined. The definitions don't go with it.
Because that which the madrega where he is, does not let him go into a high madrega. It can lead him to recognize it, but not to be there. We discussed it at 15 days.
No, we did. I guess I didn't get it then.
All right, we'll try to get back. Okay, so I said we are 4 lines from the top on Samachalov. We discussed yesterday the principle of Seder Hishtalshelus. That Seder Hishtalshelus is only be'erech zelozeh. The whole Seder Hishtalshelus, no matter what is developed, as sophisticated as developed the Indian is, it is still be'erech. Every step is be'erech, is in proximity to the step before it, to the higher step. Ruchnius and Gashmius, there is no erech. There is no proximity between Ruchnius and Gashmius. And then the Rebbe says, perhaps I'll go back at the end of the 3rd line from it. Umashe be'erech sheyislabish, and that which is be'erech sheyislabish, that is in proximity to Slavish and Gashmis. Haray ze bebchinas miyut ma'oi, this is very much reduced, shelo yifel habitul, which will not affect the bitul in the Gashmi. What is be'erech sheyislabish? We didn't really examine this yesterday. What is be'erech sheyislabish? In the chayas hanefesh, that mislabish in the goof, there are different levels. Like we said, there's the oileg and rotzen, there's the meichin and midas. But these are like moichin and midas. These are not really beslabshus in the goof. They remain moichin and midas. The goof is aware of it. It's not the brain that understands; it's the nefesh that understands. But then there is a slapshus achayis in the goof, where the goof itself has a chayus element. It lives. If not for that chayus, the goof would disintegrate. This chayus is chayus, but it is a chayus that is just sufficient to maintain the presence of the goof. It is not a chayus that will bring about the bitul that the goof should be bottled to ruchnis. To the nefesh.
Isn't Seichel and Midas also be slapshus? Why are we only talking about the lowest level of chayes?
Okay, we'll talk about the Seichel and the slapshus and Seichel and Midas. If you, okay, honestly, if you have a perception of Seichel that this is right, the goof will perform automatically. So is it be a slapshus or not be a slapshus?
Mm-hmm.
The slapshus means that the goof lives automatically. The goof it accepts the skies, and that's what the goof, and that's what sustains the goof. But chayes and seichel and midas, yes, you're aware it's be a slapshus in the thing that you know it, but the goof actually resists it. It says, I don't want it.
It still remains ruchni, it's not kashmir.
It still remains ruchnis. It's always ruchnis. Even the chayes goof is also ruchnis. It remains separate. It's pure ruchnis. We'll talk about it. What?
No, it's okay, let's talk
Yeah,
about
we'll talk about it over here.
This is also, I mean, the midas of the nefesh Bahamas itself. It's also included in this.
The midas of Shabbamis are subservient to the goof.
Okay, so that's also included in this miut.
Yeah, that they're not causing any beat.
Is this the highest of an animal? Is this like the
highest of the yeah? In that respect, it's similar. It's regular highest in the human highest ha'adam. There are 4 different levels of highest. They're all included in the Doimen, Tzemeach, Chayim, Medaber.
This would be without the medaber.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Let me introduce the following thing. We're going to be going in circles like that. The goof never accepts and recognizes the neshama to the point where the goof automatically follows the neshama. So when I say never, I have to actually qualify this. There are instances of extremely refined individuals where that is not true. Even to the extent that Eliyahu, all of a sudden, he went into Gan Eden together with his goof. So clearly his goof was complete in his body. There was no dichotomy between the goof and the neshama. And this is true by many tzaddikim.
It was brought down in Petersburg that one of the rebbeim trained himself so much that he would follow halacha. Like, isn't it brought down? That whatever even without a reason, he knew that it was halacha because this is.
Yeah. Well, the Rebbe once spoke about the Friedrichen Rebbe. The Rebbe Shabbat from Friedrichen Rebbe, where the Rebbe asked the Kasha, how was the Rebbe permitted to remain in prison another day amongst the Tzaddikim and put his life in? How are you allowed to do this? For Shabbos? You know the story. So the Rebbe answered, because Ram Rebbe there was not two things of the nefesh of the goof. To be mava, he didn't use that term. To do the mitzvah as a separate intent. It was part and parcel of him. It was not an action. It was a goof response. All right. So that is very rare. That's the tzaddikim are doing. Normally, the neshama is mislabish in the goof, and the neshama does have an effect on the goof, but it has an effect on the goof from a higher perspective, which means this: the neshama is in the goof, and the neshama knows what needs to be done, what is right from wrong. And that itself will not affect the goof, will not permit it to follow through on its course, because the goof will resist it. No matter how much you explain to the goof, this is the right thing, you're talking to the wrong party. Like we said before. How then does a neshama have an effect and guide the goof? It is due to the fact that the neshama actually has a koach atzmi. Its koach is not intellectually identifiable. And the koach atzmi, this can force the goof to follow through. There was a story just now, I reminded myself, I might as well. The Mishnah says, Yayin kosher pachat mefachat. I don't remember Yayin kosher, one has drunk a lot of wine. Pachat. Fear, scared, neutralizes it. So I heard from people during, in Russia, they were upbringing, and people were dead drunk, or life drunk, by upbringing. All of a sudden, we have a knock on the door. All of a sudden, everybody came back completely to their calmest and calmer senses.
Meaning, what's the correlation to this?
That the nefesh can tell the goof how to be under certain circumstances. And the goof will obey. The goof is full of alcohol.
That's the atzmi quality, you're saying? That's representative of the quality of the nefesh.
It touches the etzem, that's what you said. The negative touches the etzem more than positive. Okay, so that which is be'erach she'is labish, that means labish in the guf becomes part and parcel of the guf. This is miyut me'oid v'le'yishel yifel habitl. Excuse me, will not affect the people. What is these words, mishel yifel habitl? It means this will not bring the guf and the nefesh habamis to the point of recognizing, what this is chayus, this is godliness, this is life, this is not body. It will completely ignore it. Yes, it's there, but it will not have an effect of beetle of saying, okay, so where does that come from? Where does that chayus come from? This chayus comes from Eliyahu. because it's very minuscule. Rag hanshama, only the neshama. Okay, we have 4 lines. Lihiyois moved will be erech. Because that it is moved will be erech, it is in total on a total remote level, not in proximity to the goof. And it is moved to be erech. The inyan of the neshama is moved to be erech. It's not only relative to the goof. It is moved. It is, in an absolute sense, moved to be erech. In an absolute sense, moved to be erech. It does not relate to anything. It is in its own reality, its own truth. Because it's in its own truth, therefore, it is capable of being mislabesh gam bedover she'ein be'erech klal, even in something that is totally outside, out of its realm, out of its domain. K'mei haguf ha'nefesh habamis. Because, just like such as the guf and nefesh habamis, the nefesh can be mislabesh in that too, because it's moved to be erech.
Like a miracle?
No. I'm just considering that I should go further, and then this is slapshus. Next time we don't have anyone. This is slapshus. That it mislabish in the guf nefesh habamis. Let us take as an example intelligence. And like we pointed out many times, even at the lowest level, even on the lowest level, 1 and 1 is 2. And that is mislabish in the goof. You're expressing it on the goof level. The neshama can tell the goof, 1 and 1 is 2. Because that the neshama sees this inyan, 1 and 1 is 2, from a completely different viewpoint. As we explained many times, the concept of 1 and 1 is 2 is not 1 and 1 is 1 and 1, but there is a higher end, there's a neshama element. And this neshama element translates and can be, goes all the way down into the gashmisik reality. Like we said, there's 1 is actually 1 and 1. There's 2 ones. But why is there such a thing as 2 ones? Why would that be limited to just 1? The reason that there is 2 ones is that both of these ones are contained in a bottle to that which accommodates them, which allows them to be. The neshama Mechatchila sees it from that perspective, from that level. Therefore, the neshama can come to the guf and say, 1 and 1 is 2. And speak to the guf at its level, because the neshama sees this inyan, this 1 on 1, and the manner of what's called muvdo. What does muvdo mean? In very simple, we have to interrupt it. Muvdo means this: the guf, when you say 1 on 1, the guf has to go and verify and find out how much is 1 on 1. It goes and counts them 1 on 1. The neshama does not find that out by counting them. The neshama knows it mitzad its fundamental truth. Muvdo biyadach. The neshama is actually tells what the truth is, does not discover it. Therefore, the neshama mitzad its muvdo biyadach, it can be mislavish in the guf and tell the guf what it is, and then talk to the guf at its level. Okay, I'm telling you, you want to find out, go count them over and you'll find out. And therefore, there is a neshama element in this discovery that the guf find out. This is the hislapshus. Definitively and conclusively, this we'll have to wait till tomorrow. The principle is, as we're going to see, the principle is that the neshama, as I said, does not have to go to the world to discover what the truth is. Neshama tells the world what it is. Because neshama is mushabe atzmus. It tells the world what the world is about and how it should be, how it is.
And that's called hislapshus.
And okay, the hislapshus is in the sense that it tells the world what it is, but in order for the world to accept it, to be affected, the world has to accept it. It can force the world. The world, the guf says, no, I want to be this way, and the neshama says, no, you are going to be this way, because that is how you are at inception. On the etzem, on the essential level. We shall. Sorry, I couldn't conclude this thing today.
We'll be in suspense all day.
Huh?
We'll be in suspense all day.
We'll be in suspense all day. There's a perek in Tanya, San Yehuda Muna. I think it's the second perek that ends with a kasha. And the kasha is, since that the truth is that everything is bottled to Lakus, how then does it happen that in the world it appears to be a mitzias? Why is it not bottled completely and united with a Lakus? And that's the end of the perek. It says, in order to explain it, we need the following introduction. It goes into the further down. So the kasha is, it says that particularly in the chassidus and the philosophy, we should never end with the kasha. Leave in suspense. Who knows what the suspense is? Leave it unanswered. The answer is, this kind of kasha, it's okay if you make suspense.